Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Please like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, become a member to the channel, and subscribe to the channel, leave a donation for the fried rice and chicken wings, and let's hold our horses. Stop taking it to the stupid. Jaron, Ennis, Demetrius, Andrade. There's a couple words, actually a few words, that sum up the comparison between both of these fighters. I think there's some avoidance, inactivity, promotional missteps. Two fighters, two southpaws. Jaron Ennis is a switch hitter. Two careers marked by brilliance and frustration. Jaron Ennis and Demetrius Andrade. I can't help but think of Jaron Ennis and Demetrius Andrade as two guys, two different eras. Although Demetrius Andrade is still active, just Jaron Ennis seems like he's going the same direction as Andrade. Both of these guys are among the most gifted boxers of their generation. Can't deny the talent of both of these guys. Their paths have been riddled with, I'd say, some missed opportunities, promotional chaos, and long stretches of inactivity. And we're seeing this shit. We saw it happen with Demetrius Andrade, and it is happening right now with Jaron Ennis. Now, there's a story to be told, and I don't like the way things are looking for Jaron, because you look at him and Andrade, there's a little bit of story about how, two elite fighters like these guys, one became a cautionary tale, the other one's becoming a cautionary tale, and how one might still rewrite the ending. For Demetrius Andrade, it's over. His career, it's just sad. But if you take a look at what we have now, Jaron Ennis, 28, 34-0, 30 KOs. It's outstanding. About to fight this guy. I don't know where they found this guy. Heard the guy was a part-time professional boxer and a part-time job working at the airport sniffing luggage and shit. But what a joke. You want to take a guy like Jaron, damn near, he got like an 89, 90% KO ratio, switch hitter, explosive, creative, fluid combinations, amateur pedigree, U.S. National Golden Gloves champion, U.S. National Golden Gloves champion, 74-inch reach. And you mean to tell me everything he said he wanted to do, come undisputed at 147, didn't move up. Eddie Hearn gets involved in his career. We're thinking Eddie's going to breathe some life back into it, and he did help him out. He's getting paid good money. He's fighting at home because, Eddie Hearn's not stupid. He got to fight him somewhere where Eddie Hearn can make a return on his investment. But all the things Jaron Boots in is set out to do, he hasn't done any of it. Yeah, he got the IBF title given to him, and then he beat Stanley Eunice. But, what happened to Undisputed? Bubble up to 154, says he doesn't want any tune-ups, straight at the best. Now he's fighting the luggage sniffer. Then you look at Demetrius Andrade. 37 years old now, 32-1, 19 KOs. Slick southpaw, defensive genius. Amateur pedigree, 2007 world champion, 2008 Olympian. KO ratio 59%, 73.5-inch reach. He's another one. Canelo didn't want to fight him. He's jumping up and down weight division trying to get a big fight. Then he got his ass into with David Benavidez, a fight that, most of us didn't think he'd win that fight, but you just never knew what was going to happen, but you know David Benavidez is a different type of animal. Benavidez was working with Angel Mimo Heredia, and he was more than ready. That's the first time we seen David Benavidez's body change like that. Kind of reminded me of when Pacquiao fought Juan Manuel Marquez in that fourth fight, and Marquez came out shredded and muscular, and he even had muscles in his ass. He was looking crazy. He damn near killed Pacquiao. Benavidez got in there with Andrade, damn near killed him. But Jaron, Ennis, and Demetrius Andrade, both fighters possess elite skills, levels above just about anyone in their weight division when we're talking solely skills. Ennis is a dynamic finisher, speed and power, and it was on full display when he fought Stan Eunice. Stan Eunice wasn't just a measuring stick. Stan Eunice was a real test. And Boots passed the test with flying colors. And with Demetrius Andrade, he's a defensive wizard, ring IQ, timing. But you know, he's proven that talent alone doesn't build a legacy. And this is what we got to keep in mind with Jaron Boots Ennis. He's got the talent. You can see. He gets busy. Jaron Boots Ennis, the sky's the limit for him. Or maybe there is no plateau. It's limitless. But I just have to say, with all the talent he has, at the age that he is, the amount of fights that he's had, what has he done, people? Where is he going to? Do you know the things? Do you know? That's my question. Where the hell is he going? You look at some of these other fighters who had 25 fights, the past greats, the current greats, what they've accomplished, type of fighters they fought. What has Jaron Boots Ennis done? So if he's trying to build a legacy, he got to avoid going down the path that Demetrius Andrade traveled. And look, Andrade was trying to get fights. People just wouldn't fight him. And Jaron Boots Ennis' case, I think Eddie Hearn is navigating his career and saying, nah, don't do this, don't do that. We're going to make it look like you want these fights, but we're going to put you in the easy fights. Kind of like he did Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. So I don't put 100% of the blame on Jaron Ennis, but there's some culpability there. Now, when you look at Demetrius Andrade, and we try to create a bit of a timeline when it comes to his career, he turned pro in 2008, won the WBO 154-pound title in 2013. Moved to 160, won the WBO title in 2018. Fought only 7 times between 2018 and 2023. That's horrible. But it's not his fault. He was put in holding patterns, waiting for a Canelo fight. I mean, he was begging for that Canelo fight. Waiting to fight Charlo. You know, thinking he can get a Triple G. Hoping to fight Saunders. There's always something coming up. Either they don't want to fight him, something with ped tests, whatever the reason. He just couldn't get the fights that he needed to really help cement his legacy with all the talent that he had. And now you look where he's at in his career. I don't even know if he'll make it into the Hall of Fame. Then you look at Jaron Boots Ennis, turned pro in 2016. Been pro, I'm going on 9 years, I'm going on 10 years. Some say he dominated the welterweight division. I don't think we can say that. He didn't dominate the welterweight division. He dominated welterweight contenders. I would say that. He won the IBF and WBA titles in 2024. Signed with Eddie Hearn. Has not fought an elite opponent since. Now, Andrade's career stalled due to promotional disputes and being avoided by top names. Ennis, despite hype, which is a whole lot of hype around Jaron Boots Ennis, it has been. Ever since, for me, he fought that Canadian. Then he fought Roman Villa. There's been a whole lot of hype. There's been a couple titles. However, he has yet to face a true A-level opponent. So, Andrade and Ennis, and now this is my opinion, they both suffered from poor matchmaking and long layoffs. Inactivity can have an adverse impact on your career. But inactivity, depending on the spell of inactivity, a short spell, that can give you some benefits. Sometimes you need a little R&R, rest and recuperation, to get back to optimal levels of performance. But in Demetrius Andrade case, this is the direction I could see Ennis going. He was inactive for all of 2022. Fought only once in 2023 before losing to Benavidez. Career momentum lost during his prime years, because since Benavidez, he's done nothing. Jaron Ennis, he fought once in 2025. I think it was April. We fought Stanley Ennis. Now he's scheduled to fight Wisma Lima in October. A tune-up fight. This Wisma Lima was just some shit that was just thrown at Ennis. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of like what Terrence Crawford did when he fought Evanescence before Earl Spence. It was just something to do before going into the big money fight. And with Jaron Ennis, this is just something so that he could have a second fight this year and go into the fight with Virgil Ortiz around, I think it's February 2026. Excuse me. So he can go into that fight and have, knocked the ring rust off, got those inactivity barnacles, kind of pried those off of his ass. So he can go in there and hopefully be firing on all cylinders and put up a great fight, valiant effort, and get a big win in what majority of us are seeing as his first real A-level opponent, his first true test at the new weight division, 154 pounds. Now, there are some people who are saying Jaron Ennis put duck sauce on the fried rice when it came to Brian Norman Jr. I don't think so. They're saying he put duck sauce on the fried rice because he wouldn't fight Teofimo Lopez. To that I say, ha, ha, ha. I'm laughing at you. Hold your horses, don't take it to the stupid. And then the audacity to say that he put duck sauce on the fried rice because he wouldn't fight Devin Haney. Now, we all know, no way in the world, Devin and Bill Haney, Beijing Bill, gonna allow that goddamn fight to happen. Jaron Ennis would blast the nose off of Devin Haney, man. So y'all stop. Please stop now. So inactivity kills careers. Andrade's prime was spent waiting. Ennis risked the same fate, especially if his next fight is another soft touch. And this is what he can't afford to happen. This Lima, I think, again, guy works at the airport sniffing luggage. If for some reason after that he fights another soft touch, it's over for him. To me, that shit is career suicide. Because I'm going to tell you, even though he may have a training camp and he goes to fight a nobody and he's making really good money, that's almost like being inactive. Because they say iron sharpens iron, right? Well, Jaron Ennis is definitely iron, but he's in there with a piece of goddamn driftwood. There ain't shit happening there. You take iron and start to bang it up against a piece of driftwood, you're gonna get splinters all over the goddamn place. There's no way in the world that driftwood can sharpen iron. So that's what you got. Jaron Ennis is, a bar of iron, and Evanescence Chikazian was driftwood. And don't get me wrong, Chikazian can box, but those guys were driftwood. This shit with this guy Lima, another piece of driftwood. Stanley Ennis, He wasn't driftwood. He was. I can't say he was iron. The Stan Eunice who fought Butiev, that was iron, but he was a good fighter. You got to give Ennis credit for that win. But Ennis signed a multi-year deal with Eddie Hearn in 2025. And the uniqueness about all this is Andrade, he was with Matchroom. Matter of fact, he left Matchroom in 2022 after failed Zach Parker bout. Eddie Hearn tried his best with Andrade. He just couldn't get him fights. And he said people just didn't want to fight him. Well, Jaron Ennis now has signed a multi-year deal with Eddie Hearn. Promised big fights, just like Andrade was promised big fights. But you see the lowball offers, facing delays, and things aren't just coming together. And I think because what happened with Eddie Hearn, I think people want big money from him because he got a big mouth. So as a result, Eddie Hearn isn't able to secure the big names like he promised Jaron Ennis because Eddie Hearn doesn't want to basically lose money. You heard, what's his name, Bob Arum said with a guy with Terrence Crawford, as great as he is, he was hemorrhaging money and losing money on fights. He lost so much money he could have bought a house in Calabasas. Any truth to that? I don't know. Maybe old Bob Arum took it to the stupid. But the bottom line is Eddie Hearn, he doesn't want to lose any money behind any fighter because at the end of the day, Matchroom is his father's business, and Eddie Hearn loves his papa, and he doesn't want to misstep with how he's maneuvering with the Matchroom business, especially the financial management aspect. Now, the Ortiz Jr. fight was announced, but Ortiz camp is saying, hey, there's nothing signed. Eddie Hearn saying it's all signed. It's a done deal. You know, Ortiz just has to win his October fight. Ennis has to win his October fight. And then bang, we're on for end of January, early February. All I'm going to tell you is it's hard to believe what Eddie Hearn says, but I do believe there's some truth to it because how passionately he spoke about it and he was throwing Turki Al-Sheikh's name out there. One thing for sure, we all know when Turkey's in the house every day is Thanksgiving. But Eddie Hearn is not going to come out here and just throw Turki Al-Sheikh's name out there like that. He ain't going to do that. He doesn't want to burn that bridge. So the bottom line, both fighters trusted Eddie Hearn to deliver marquee fights. Andre got exposure, which was the best Eddie Hearn can do, but he didn't get elite opponents because they didn't want to fight him. Ennis is now facing similar issues, tune-ups, delays, uncertainty, unkept promises. It's pretty sad. Anyway, when you talk about some missed moments for Demetrius Andrade, look, Canelo declined multiple times. Charlo turned down $5 million offer. I even think Eddie Hearn threw something like $8 million at him. This is when Eddie Hearn first got that DAZN money, that $1 billion. But Charlo wouldn't do it. But I think Eddie Hearn wanted them to sign with him too. So Eddie Hearn was doing some, promoter type shit. But at that time, PBC was popping and nobody was leaving him. Talked with Triple G. Yeah, Triple G forgot how to speak English and when that shit happened. So nothing ever materialized. Triple G was like, no big drama show. Then Benavidez, look, they finally got in there and scrapped in 2023 because Benavidez realized, look, ain't nobody want to fight me. Canelo doesn't want to fight me. He doesn't want to fight Andre. Andre moved up in weight. Like, fuck it, I'll fight him. And he lost by, knockout, round 6. He retired on the stool. But he needed to. He was getting hurt badly in that fight, man. Badly, he was getting hurt. So those are some missed fight opportunities for Andrade. And we look at Ennis. Crawford declined the opportunity multiple times. Earl Spence didn't want to fight him. Teofimo Lopez turned down the offer. Devin Haney declined at 147. Ortiz Jr., fight still not finalized, but looks like that one could be locked in. But at the end of the day, for a guy like Jaron Ennis with so much promise and the big name and starting to get global recognition, profiles elevating, I mean, he still hasn't fought anybody. So look, those metrics that I just threw at you, man, those facts, the shit doesn't lie. Andrade and Ennis, both fighters had chances to face the elite. And either weren't chosen, say they weren't ready, or didn't accept, or the opponents didn't accept. But the result is just two extremely talented guys with a resume that doesn't match their God-gifted talent. So we're going to see what happens here. If going forward, there can be a little bit of redemption, or it's going to be a repeat of the same thing. Andrade, he's inactive, 37, coming off a loss. Still respected, but unlikely to get another big fight. Just really horrible to sit back and look at this guy and who was touted at being the next big thing, and it just never materialized for him. When it comes to his legacy, look, he's a 2-division champ, but never faced a Hall of Famer, so it's hard to see him going into the Hall of Fame. Jaron Ennis is still undefeated, moving to 154. He's at 154 now. Huge potential still, but again, he's got to face the Xander Zayases. He's got to fight a Fundora. He's got to fight the Virgil Ortizes. Even a Marjoram off of Bohachuk. Murtazalia. Look, everybody need to be careful of Murtazalia, but even a Murtazalia, Erickson Lubin, somebody, he's got to put some more work in with the big names, because he has not done that. So Andrade's story, I think it may have been written. I think it's over for Demetrius Andrade. But Ennis, it ain't over. He still has time. But he's got to take risks. He's got to take risks. Look, man, they say, man, chances make champions. Take some chances. Step to Eddie Hearn and say, hey, Eddie, hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid. I don't care what you say. You say that I'm the boss, right? I want to fight Bohachuk. I want to fight Fundora. I want to fight Zayas. I want to fight Ortiz. Fuck it, give me Keith Thurman. I want to fight guys with names to where I'm going to get some credit for fighting them. But if he takes risks, stays active, and demands elite opposition, I think he can avoid becoming another what if. But right now, he's going on the path to becoming a what if. And I'll be honest with you, I don't like that for him. I don't. So anyway, man, I'm going to get on out of here. I'm tired, man. The kids back in school, so, they go to sleep. Daddy does videos. I don't take time for my sons, but I'll just say this. I worked out today, right? I ran with my weighted vest about an hour and 15 minutes. Came back, lifted weights in the garage, did abs, chest, shoulders, tricep, back. Tomorrow I'm going to the boxing gym. And I'm going to tell you, man, talent is a gift. I took about 14 years off from really working out hard like I used to, because that's when my first son came. He's 15 now. And I've always managed to get back in the gym about, I think maybe a couple times a month. But sometimes I go months without working out. But I was always doing cardio, but the lifting weights and shit. What I can tell you is, talent is a gift, man. But for me, like these guys, when it comes to timing and the momentum, that's everything, because I don't regret nothing, because I put a lot of my time into my sons. But as far as me being in the gym about, I'd say 3 days a week for the last 15 years, I have not done that. Before, I used to be in the gym like 4 days a week. So I lost a lot of momentum. And when I look at these guys, they got the talent. I'm 50 now. I had the talent. Still see signs of how I was. I was very athletic. But I just think when it comes to these guys, timing, matchmaking, and momentum are everything. If I could lose a whole lot, but I'm getting it back, because, muscle has memory and I have the discipline. But I just think for them, being professional fighters, they can't afford to fuck around. It's everything for them to be active, get the right fights, keep the momentum going. Because I'm telling you, that shit is hard to get back in the swing of things. Demetrius Andrade and Jaron Ennis, to me, they're just mirrors, man. One reflecting what was lost, the other what could still be gained. So the question is now simple to me. Will Ennis learn from Andrade's mistakes or repeat them? And I think there's a whole lot of Eddie Hearn that's behind a lot of the shit going on with Ennis. But I wouldn't be surprised if Eddie Hearn, with his fast-talking self, has come in and was able to kind of denature the natural thought process of Jaron Boots Ennis and have him moving like a company man now. Like little risk, plenty profit. And you know what? If that's the case, cool, but just say it. It's all about the money. Just like Gervonta Davis said, Floyd Mayweather said, you can't take a belt to the bank and deposit or exchange it for money to feed your family if your kids are hungry. Make the most money possible, least amount of risk. And that's what I think Eddie Hearn's doing with Jaron Ennis. But hey, it's just a conversation. Anyway, man, y'all can sit there, man, and dogpile each other in the comments about what y'all think's going on. But I think Jaron Ennis is the next coming to Demetrius Andrade, but he better get ahead of that shit right now before he ends up just like him. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.